Thank you for not laughing. I heard claps, but no laughter. Thank you very much. So, my friend Marianne Williamson has said that a vision grows as it is shared. Thank you all so much for spending this warm, wonderful, fun, and inspirational evening together. I am truly overwhelmed by the degree of generosity bestowed in this room, and we'll get to more specific thank yous in a moment. But before I do, I want to share with you what has inspired me to create this organization, what CMomA has accomplished in our first year of living, and followed by what we are looking forward to building in the future. So I once came across a quote that proclaimed that the two most important days of our lives are the day we were born and the day we discover why. This past year, it has become clear to me that CMomA's vision of bringing women, men, couples, and partners together with children in need is my why. When we finally discover our whys, we can trace it back to times that I have come to recognize as destiny moments. Those choices and experiences which plant the seeds for what we are here to do. There are several destiny moments in my own life that led me to this point, but the one I'd like to share with you tonight happened many, many years ago. I was 29 years old, working as a psychotherapist with a young woman who had been referred to me by a hospital after an overdose of cocaine. Susan was only 19 years old, looking haggard, feeling hopeless, isolated, and desperate for connection and relief. Always seeming on the edge of tears, she revealed a long-standing pattern of self-sabotage, expressing her feelings that she was defective and downright unlovable. She was abandoned by her biological father, and actually, her story was fraught with consistent and cumulative pain, disappointment, and neglect. She was also born to an abusive mother. She bounced around the foster care system her entire childhood. The verbal abuse she suffered during sporadic periods with her mother was some of the worst I had ever heard. "You are the abortion I should have had," her mother said to her. Despite numerous unsuccessful attachments and premature losses in her life, Susan committed herself to weekly sessions with me. I simply held the space for her to feel heard, cared for unconditionally, and seen for who she really is. During the early stages of our work together, she got pregnant at the age of 20 and decided to keep the baby. A familial connection she had longed for her entire life. She would bring the baby into sessions with me, and her eyes studied every move and listened to every word I would say. Now she was responsible for caring for a child, while continuing to heal her own heart and finding her ground. I once asked Susan how in the world she had the heart and insight and perseverance to go on after everything she had been through. She said tearfully, "I think it was one of my foster families, the one I was in between the ages of 2 and 5, before they put me back with my mom. They were so nice to me." Can you imagine that? This is the powerful impact and lasting imprint that just a few years in the presence of safe and loving care could provide in someone's life. After 4 years of working together, Susan and I had our last session. She pulled a wrapped gift out of a bag. It was a beautiful glass sculpture in the shape of an egg. I'm not sure whether this was a conscious choice or not, but this was one of the first destiny seed moments in my life, and apparently hers, when the truth was revealed that motherhood is so much more than biology. 15 years passed when I received an email from Susan after she randomly was flipping through the channels and saw me on a panel on HLN being interviewed. She shared that she was married to a man who loved her and she had 5 children. Her daughter, who was in my office, is now 16 years old and later got on her mother's computer and secretly wrote to me, "Thank you for helping my mom," she said, "and helping me too." We never know the ripple effects of our love, so our only task in life is to reach out and love. And that is the foundation in which CMomA is born. So I'd like to compare the CMomA journey thus far. To having a child. First, there is conception, when the vision is felt in your heart, and then it is fertilized and lies still, developing in the gestation period. And then it is shared with others who will participate in the promise of a new beginning of something wonderful. The first year of your baby's life, you giggle with delight, and you can see your child's growth in your mind's eye. And then there are the times that you wonder, why isn't he talking yet? Why isn't she walking? Is his brain and body developing properly? And of course, especially if you're a new parent, it can be overwhelming at times. And so in spite of periodic overwhelm, when I want CMomA to develop faster, I'm really so proud of how far we've come in such a short time. So here are the top 10 accomplishments we can celebrate together tonight that took place in our first year of being alive. Just like we clap for a child learning to walk, what I'd like to invite you all to do is that each time I share a particular accomplishment, I want you to watch for the signal, and I want you to shout out our motto, "Go see Mama." Okay? You ready? All right, here we go. First accomplishment of the year. A board of directors was created, including Dr. Jana Cole, Tim Lavender, Mark Allen Granger, and here tonight with us, Dr. Robin Berman and Jane Hoffman. Go see Mama. Number 2, we got through all the paperwork and waiting time and became an official 501c3 organization. Go see Mama. Number 3, our advisory council was formed, including the fabulous Jack Canfield, Mary Mann Morrissey, Lisa Nichols, Dr. Sue Mortar, Shannon Rotenberg, Scott Carlin, Missy Lavender, Ben Young Mason, and here tonight, of course, Ben is my husband, thank you very much, and fabulous, and Chris Carlson and Lisa Schneiderman. Go see Mama. Number 4, we began to form our grassroots support through our think tank gatherings. Go see Mama. Number 5, we launched our website, Childless Mothers Connect, offering online resources and a sense of community for all women without children, as well as our nonprofit's online presence at CMomA.org. Go see Mama. Number 6, money was raised that covered startup costs and began our nest egg to plan for our future. Go see Mama. Number 7, thanks to Laura Catalino and Jill Bronco here tonight, our research team was created and has acquired extensive data on where the children have the least amount of resources, the costs of adoption, and adoption policies that various countries enforce. Go see Mama. Number 8, we expanded our mission statement, offering support not just to people that want to adopt, but also to those in the childless population that want to adopt our mission of helping children in need. There are many ways of connecting with children. Adoption is just one of them. Go see Mama! Number 9, my book, Childless Mothers, Awaken to What Awaits You, just got picked up by an agent this week, and thank you, and we'll soon have its publisher. This book will give more attention to the duality between the many broken hearts of not being able to have children and the children around the world who are in desperate need of a loving home. And finally, what I am over the moon excited to share with you all tonight, which deserves 3 Go See Mamas, by the way, is that CMomA is ending the year having made our first round of grants to two very special families. We're giving a $5,000 donation toward international adoption costs of a beautiful toddler in the Congo, scheduled to be united this winter with her 42-year-old mother on the East Coast. Yeah, how about that? Despite the enormous cost of international adoption, Nancy, the mom, was clear that she wanted to adopt a child with little or no resources, sharing with me, quote, "All I know is that the outlook for my daughter in this region of the world, were she not to be adopted internationally, would not be good." Her message to us tonight is as follows. Thank you, CMomA. Your support is more than financial. I am floored by your kindness and generosity. As a single woman, I have often felt like I'm in the margins of the adopting world. It is so nice to see that an organization exists that welcomes women like me. It means so much that a family that could be perceived as non-traditional is wanted, loved, and supported by the larger community. This has been the most humbling and rewarding process I've ever experienced. CMomA is now part of our story. The second 2012 CMomA grant recipient goes to Jeff and Joe Moyer. who await their 13-year-old adopted daughter from Colombia. Get this, you ready? They have sold their car and depleted their retirement funds to make this happen. I'd like to share part of the grant recommendation letter we received about them from a wonderful family that hosted Aleja, the 13-year-old, this past summer as part of the organization named Kids Save. They have a beautiful program called the Summer Miracles Program, which places orphans aged 8 to 13 who have little chance of being adopted in their own countries to host families here in the U.S. during 1 month each summer. Here is what she wrote to us. Over this past summer, our family had the blessing of hosting Aleja from a Colombian orphanage for the month of July. Little did we realize what an amazing experience it would be. Aleja was funny, confident, thoughtful, adventurous, and always willing to try something new. A week or so into the month, Joe and Jeff Moyer came to the Kids Save event and met all the children here for the month. Aleja was drawn to them immediately. So we set up a bike ride with the three of them to go on with the help of a translator. And from that day on, they were inseparable. One night, they took her to the circus that was in town, and on the walk in from the parking lot, Aleja whispers in Spanish to the chaperone, "Do you think they would let me hold their hand?" Aww. And of course, Jeff and Joe jumped at the chance. What 13-year-old wants to hold an adult's hand in public? It was one of the most amazing experiences to be part of, to watch a family fall in love with each other for the very first time. She says, I can go on and on about how this family needs to be together. I would hate for funding to be the only obstacle. When Joe and Jeff were saying their final goodbyes, but hopefully temporary ones, before Aleja went back to Colombia, there were a lot of emotions in the air. As Aleja began to give quick hugs of goodbye, I left them alone and went into the kitchen. But as I turned around, Aleja followed me in. She started to smile and laugh, her usual cover-up of hard things that she trained herself to do throughout her hard life. But this time, the smile didn't stick. Her heart was too full, and she started to sob. She told me that she didn't want to ever say goodbye to Joe and Jeff. I wiped her tears, and as she went out to give them one last hug, it was a long and more tearful one. I came out to find Jeff bear-hugging Aleja, her feet 2 feet off the ground. I couldn't hold it together any longer. Seeing this girl whom I'd gotten to know as fearless and steady, and never a tear in her eye, break down her walls and let her new mom and dad in. It was too much for me. I pray that they will be together as soon as time and funds will allow. The best news is Joe and Jeff Moyer are here with us tonight. And they're right here. Can you raise your hand, Joe and Jeff? I encourage you all to meet them with warm CMomA welcoming arms, and they brought pictures of Aleja. She is so beautiful. Her face speaks everything, truly. And so please introduce yourself to them and see this child's beautiful face. And we are honored to be on the journey with you. Okay, very quickly. So moving on, our critical goals for 2013, everybody, is to expand our board membership and village of volunteers that offer the foundation of support required to continue to ensure CMomA's growth. And most importantly, to have the funds necessary to hire a staff to manage on and offline operations of the organization, facilitate more domestic and international grant adoptions like the ones we just heard, and organize the first CMomA journey to our first destination where we can make a contribution to a community and help facilitate bringing women and men who want children together, with children praying for parents to take care of them. Andrea will share with you all more specifically how you can help make these goals into a reality. But I'd like to end by reminding us all of what the Jewish Talmud states, which is, to save one life is though you have saved the entire world. Thank you to each and every one of you here tonight, my dear, dear friends and family, CMomA donors, board of directors, event team of angels, and the village of volunteers, and new friends for joining us in empowering and enriching lives one child and one family at a time. It's no wonder, okay, I'm outing myself right now. It's no wonder my favorite mantra these days is life begins at 50. Okay, finally, to our incredible hosts, Andrea and Chris, I'd like to say something really quickly. So, when I thought about Andrea and Chris tonight, I actually Googled what came up. Where's Chris? Where's Chris? Okay. Well, Chris, will you come here, honey bun? Come here. Come back. Come back to the stage. No, yeah. So I Googled the definition of godparents. And what came up is that the modern view of a godparent is an individual or couple chosen to have an interest in the child's upbringing and development. I believe that children benefit greatly from having godparents to remind them who they are, to expose them to bigger dreams, and to always have their back. Chris and Andrea, this is what you have done for the CMomA journey thus far, and we are all so very grateful. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you will accept this invitation and plaque, designating you as the first pair of CMomA Dynamic Duo Godparents. It says, CMomA Godparents, believing eyes is where magic lies. To Andrea Quinn and Chris.
Thank you, Heidi.
CMomA.
Thank you, Marcy. Oh my God.